Before I start this video, I cannot stress this enough that if you are a conservative in Ontario and you haven't bought your $10 membership for the Ontario PC Party yet, go down to the comments section right now. Right now. You can replay this video afterwards. But there is a link that will send you over to the PC Party website directly to where you get the $10 membership, because you cannot participate in the Ontario PC Party leadership election, which is on March 10th, without being an Ontario PC member. And the deadline to become a PC Party member so that you can participate in the March 10th leadership election is February 16th. That is the deadline. The actual election is on March 10th, but the deadline to be a member is February the 16th. What the hell are you waiting for? If you haven't become a PC Party member yet, then what in God's name are you waiting for? Get on over there. Go down to the comment section right now, like absolutely right now. Click on the link and become a member. It's $10 to become a member for 1 year. The deadline is February 16th. So that way you can support Doug Ford to become the leader of the PC Party of Ontario. And that's the person that the Arana Nation has endorsed. I mean, if you want to support someone else, then I don't even bother. But I'm supporting Doug Ford. He's the only conservative in that race. He is a people's person. He's the only person who represents the grassroots, who knows what we're going through, who knows what our values are, who knows what we want. He speaks our language. I mean, you got, first of all, Christine Elliott there, who, first of all, she's an employee of Kathleen Wynne. And I know people don't want to hear that, but Kathleen Wynne created the Patient Ombudsman organization, and Christine Elliott became the very first head of that organization. So people say, oh, she's not really employee of Kathleen Wynne. The bottom line is Kathleen Wynne's government created that organization, and Christine Elliott became the very first head of that organization. I call her Christine Wynne Elliott. That's it. And then you got Caroline Mulroney, who is Patrick Brown without the dick, the female version of Patrick Brown. She said she'll do everything Patrick did. We're just going to start back from where Patrick was. And Patrick Brown completely divided the PC Party. He was a terrible leader, divided it right in half. And because of Patrick Brown's terrible, backstabbing, treacherous leadership, we've got the Trillium Party, the Alliance Party. We've got all these tiny little conservative parties that could split the vote. And then you got Rod Phillips, who's nobody ever heard of. So he doesn't even matter. So that's why Doug Ford is the only one. He's the only one. He's a populist conservative. He is the only conservative. He said there's going to be no carbon tax. He's going to review the sex ed curriculum. He is speaking our language. I have endorsed Doug Ford, and I've liked the Fords. They're one of the only politicians in Canada who I really get excited about. I mean, conservative or liberal, many of them, they're just, the same old thing. Even the conservative politicians, it's just the same old thing. Either they're too weak to be true conservatives, or they're just pretending to be conservatives, but deep down they're liberal. Doug Ford, Rob Ford, they're people politicians. They know how to speak to the people. So February 16th is the deadline to become a member of the PC Party of Ontario so that you can actually vote in the leadership election on March 10th for Doug Ford. So go there right now. There's a link on the comment section. Do it right now. Stop stalling. Stop that stalling. It's only $10. It's only $10. Go there right now. Now, with that being said, there is something that we need to look out for, and that is sabotage. And I'm just going to come out and say it. There is a big possibility, and this is why I am so adamant that Ontario Conservatives all over the province come out in record numbers to support Doug Ford. Because just like in the United States, where the Republican establishment did not like Donald Trump, and they actually they worked their hardest to sabotage that primary. And he still won because people came out in record numbers to support him. And by the way, people are trying to say Doug Ford is just a clone of Donald Trump. I'm going to get into that in a second. The last person Donald Trump wants to see as Premier of Ontario is Doug Ford, because he's going to stop the flow of jobs going to America. You watch, but I'll get into that in another video. But if we come out in record numbers and vote for Doug Ford, it'll be even more difficult for them to sabotage it. The PC party establishment do not want to see Doug Ford as leader. And I know this for a fact. Let me tell you something. You're speaking to somebody, you're listening to somebody who has deep connections with the PC party. I know everybody in that party. I know all the leadership. I've spoken to them. I love them all. I love them. I love them. Even the establishment people, I love them, and they love me. They love the Ourada Nation. They probably might not admit it, but they love the Ourada Nation. They listen to it every day with popcorn and soft drinks and everything. But there are a lot of people there who would not want to see Doug Ford as leader. They probably wouldn't want to see Michael Arana as leader either, but they that I ain't running for nothing. They don't want to see Doug Ford, and they have told me this. I know people who I could tell you names, and you would be like, wow. And they have told me, I hate Doug Ford is a horror. I would make sure, these guys, oh boy, they do not want to see Doug Ford. Because Doug Ford does not fit their private agenda. Many people go into politics, sadly, for their own personal agenda. They get millions of dollars from donors and stuff, and they do their own thing. Doug Ford isn't about that, and I know this. I've lived in the GTA for years. I know they're not that way. They're not. They do not want to see Doug Ford. They want maybe Christine Elliott or Caroline Mulroney because they're easier to control. Doug Ford is not easy to control. In fact, it's impossible to control that guy. I mean, in fact, in some ways, he's a bit out of control. But I'm just kidding about that. These guys don't want to see him. And the reason why I say sabotage is because you remember last year and even a little bit this year, there were certain nominations in the Ontario in certain Ontario PC ridings which were suspect. Now, what's sad about that is that there are many innocent PC party nominees who have been accused of vote rigging, election rigging, sabotage, and I actually worked on their campaigns, and I know for a fact there was no ballot box stuffing or anything like that because I was working that. I worked deep in their campaign. One example is Charity McGrath in Newmarket, Aurora. Many people said that her campaign cheated and there was ballot stuffing. I know for a fact that's not true. I know for a fact, hand on heart, the Bible, the Lord Jesus Christ. If I'm lying, throw me in the worst, hottest part of hell. Charity McGrath's campaign did not, because I was there. And you know I would never do something like that. I would never do something like that. In fact, they're accusing her of what they tried to do to her. Bill Hogg, who is extremely establishment, he knows me and I know him barely. He's on one of my groups on Facebook, but they really are extreme establishment, Red Tory, and Charity McGrath is somewhat more social conservative, and they did not want to see her, but she won, so they accused her of what they tried to do to her and failed. But there were many nomination races where Patrick Brown would either just say, I like this person and it's only going to be this person, or there may have been some ballot box stuffing. And there are many investigations going on with all of that. And that could happen with the Ontario PC leadership. And one big reason I'm saying this is because this is a digital vote, which scares the crap out of me. Because digital votes are wrong, they're bad, they're dangerous. You can do a lot of things to online rig things. That's why people really need to come out and enforce. I mean, this is bad. I can tell you, Doug Ford's ahead in the polls. I could say that without any uncertainty. He is ahead. He's ahead. I post polls on Facebook groups, conservative Facebook groups, all over the place. I've asked all sorts of conservatives all over they all say Doug Ford. I mean, you get a few people who say Christine Elliott and less people say Caroline Mulroney, and nobody talks about Rod Phillips. Doug Ford is ahead. I mean, everyone loves Doug Ford. I mean, he's ahead. He is actually ahead right now. And if there was an election held today for the leadership, Doug Ford would win it. Big. He would win it on a first ballot. In fact, the polls where they're saying Christine Elliott's ahead, that's rigged. That's rigged. That's the same thing. If you remember, I think it was 2015, 2014, when it was Patrick Brown versus Christine Elliott. Everybody said Christine Elliott was ahead. She was ahead in every poll. Patrick Brown won on the first ballot. He won almost every constituency. Doug Ford is way ahead. Way ahead. But there could be something where the establishment of the party say, you know what, we are so desperate to make sure that this guy doesn't get in that we rig everything online. We rig it. So I am urging you, if you have any shred of care for yourself, for your province, for your family, then go on the link that is on the comment section of this channel. Click on that link. You can't miss it. And once you click on that link, you will be able to become a member of the Ontario PC Party. You have to pay a $10 membership fee. That's that's fair because, you can't just have it for free. Otherwise, liberals and socialists will just troll our election. So you have to pay. So at least, some liberal out there won't want to troll the PC leadership race because they'll have to give money to the PC party. So it's $10 for a year membership. Go on there. Don't be lazy. Go on there now and pay. This is for your province. And don't say, oh, I don't have $10 because you have it. And let me tell you, I'm a student. My hours have been cut drastically. I'm only working 1 day a week now because of the minimum wage. I'm in school. I pay so much to get to school and to do all my stuff, groceries and stuff. I still gave my $10 because I'm going to get the $10 back if Doug Ford wins. You know how? He's going to cut the taxes. He's going to get rid of the carbon tax, and he's going to fight the long-haired Matt Daddy's government, along with the Alberta government, the Saskatchewan, when Jason Kenney gets in there, the Saskatchewan Party and the Saskatchewan government, and Doug Ford will all team up and fight the long-haired Mac Daddy against the carbon tax. The long-haired Mac Daddy can't go against all three of those big, powerful provinces. They just can't. If Saskatchewan and Alberta and Ontario take the federal government to court, it's over. It's over. Especially Ontario alone means it's over. But then you add Alberta and Saskatchewan, it's done. The long-haired Mac Daddy has no chance of instituting a forced carbon tax. So there'll be no carbon tax. Lower taxes. The hydro rates will be cut. I mean, I've heard some people say that he will demonopolize the hydro industry so that the consumer will, decide the price, because right now the hydro industry is a monopoly. That's why it's so expensive. If it's demonopolized, then the consumer decides the price. That's just economics. So that will go down. Red tape, regulations, more jobs will come in. So I will get that $10 back with interest. So I'll pay it, no problem. I mean, if I was a socialist, I wouldn't pay anything because I know I would never see that $10 again. But that $10, you'll get it back if you pay to become a PC party member and vote for Doug Ford. Only you, can determine whether Doug Ford wins or not. You will get that $10 back. I'm going to get my $10 back. You'll get it back. But you have to go sign up to be an Ontario PC member. If you want to tell, there's usually a suggestion after you're done signing up who prompted you to do this. You can say the Arana Nation or Michael Arana prompted me to become a PC party. You can do that. I'm all welcome for that. A lot of people like to do that. But do it. Go ahead and be a PC party member so that on March 10th you can vote for Doug Ford and put Ontario back on top in Canada. That is a great slogan. Put Ontario back on top in Canada, because Ontario was always on top in Canada. It was always the top cheese of Canada. And now we're a have-not province. Even California is doing better than us. And California is also a have-not state. That's sad. This is the Arana Nation.